Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for Girl Meets World, Season 1, Episode 18, Girl Meets Master Plan. And this episode was pretty surprising, definitely, because we finally got back to something that I wanted to get back to for a while. And I think this was probably one of the strongest episodes so far, definitely, because this episode focused entirely on Maya. I mean, you know, it had the Riley stuff, but it mainly was a Maya episode, which honestly have been some of the show's best. And also, Shawn was back in this episode, so that was definitely also a pro. So I was definitely looking forward to this episode, and as I said, this was definitely one of the best episodes. This episode was about, basically, it's Maya's birthday, and, you know, she's with Riley and the Matthews, but she's kind of struggling with the fact that her mom won't be able to join them, because, she thinks her mom forgot and that she's held up at work and things like that, and she's kind of just upset that her mom's just not there. She never really sees her mom. Her mom's always away, and I like that we focused more on that. So Riley's very concerned. So what ends up happening is that Shawn basically seems to want somebody in his life. I mean, you can definitely tell that Shawn and Maya, one of the things I'm loving they're showing with Shawn is that him and Maya are very similar, and I like they keep showing that. Because Maya even starts to refer to Shawn as like a dad. I mean, like she does. Like, she thinks of Shawn as like a father in this episode, it seems like. But basically, what ends up happening is that they end up talking, and Shawn talks about how everyone in his life has neglected him. His father, his mother, even Angela. Angela left him. Everyone's really left him in his life, and Riley sees this and kind of devises a plan with Corey and Topanga that they should try to get Katie, Maya's mother, with Shawn. Now, Corey, I love that Corey was not into these master plans, because what did Corey always do with Shawn? These crazy schemes that they do, and they'd always have Topanga involved in it, but I like that Corey said, you know what, he's retired now. It really shows the maturity of Corey, and I actually really like seeing that. Another thing that I really like this episode is that it did not have any scenes with them in history class. Nothing in this episode connected to a lesson in history class, which I also really like. There really wasn't too much of a message in this episode. I think it was more of anything that you want, anyone can help you and things like that. I don't know if that was a message that it didn't really have too much of a message for me. I don't think this episode really had a message. Definitely, I think this was honestly more of a character development episode. It really seemed like it was more of a character episode. So Riley's very convinced to get these two together, do whatever she can, and Maya isn't really sure if she wants this, though. She doesn't think it's gonna work because it never works between her and Shawn, because of course it didn't work out between her and her father. So why would it work out between her and Shawn? Why would that work out? I understand Maya's points because of that, but Riley's very convinced. She wants to be a good friend and everything, and Farkle ends up getting involved. Farkle is basically the guy that's gonna plan out everything, and Lucas is the distraction. Basically, he's gonna distract Maya, and I think that was a very genius plan. I definitely really enjoyed it, and one of my favorite parts of this episode was definitely the planning. The Mission Impossible theme music behind it was very funny to watch. There's a great scene where Shawn talks to Corey, and he talks about how he doesn't understand why Corey isn't helping Riley with this, why he isn't into anymore. I love that Corey's just like, I'm old, I'm tired, and Topanga's talking for him. It's so funny to watch. As I said before, they really seem like an old married couple when they're pretty young. They really do. The thing is, that's because they got married when they were young. And they reference that a lot in this episode. They reference like how old they are and things like that. I thought that was actually very funny when they did that. Definitely really enjoyed that stuff. But Maya doesn't really want Riley to do this. In fact, she even tells Riley that she's not happy that she does this because she doesn't want her life to really change. And you can tell that Maya definitely does want this, but I think the thing with Maya is that she's just not convinced that it's going to work. So what ends up happening is that Shawn does end up visiting Katie. He ends up visiting her at her job. And they kind of start arguing, and Maya's convinced that this is not going to work out. However, Riley said, Riley's pretty convinced, but Maya tells her that when two people fight over something or disagree, they agree with each other. And I like that she said that because they do agree. They are interested at least in each other. I like that Maya said that because it showed that just because they're fighting does not mean it's the end. I like seeing that, definitely. So they keep fighting and everything, and eventually they end up becoming very good friends. I actually thought there was a point in the episode where they were going to end up kissing, but that did not happen. If that would have happened, I think that would have been a little too fast, but I thought that was actually going to happen, and it didn't. What does end up happening, though, is that Shawn kind of sympathizes for Katie in this episode, and that's because we find out that they're actually very similar. because it only did, because as I said, Shawn has lost a lot of people in his life, and we find out that Katie was not responsible for their dad leaving. Their dad left because he left them, and I thought the reveal when she had to tell Maya was probably Sabrina Carpenter's best acting on the show, I have to say. I mean, she's had some great episodes, she's done some amazing acting on the show, but this, by far, was her best episode. Her reaction to that scene was just so heartbreaking. You can tell that she does not want to get this news. She wants everything to be okay with them, but it's not okay. And I like seeing, though, that her mom really does want to be there for her. And the reason her mom is doing this job is because she wants to, you know, because she wants to be able to pay money for Maya. She wants her to be able to get into college. She wants her to be able to have all this stuff. That's why she's doing this. So, because she really does care about Maya. And the only reason she's, you know, doing the job and everything is so she can live and things like that. And I kind of feel that this is setting up Maya and Shawn, definitely. I like the two of them together. I like the idea of it. And I think it's a pretty good idea, actually. I would like to see them together. Definitely, I would definitely like to see that. I think that would be very, very good, actually. I really would enjoy that. So, I really enjoyed the dramatic stuff in this episode. Probably the best stuff of the episode was the way they handled all the dramatic stuff. It kind of seems like Shawn's going to play a much bigger role in the show now, and I really hope that's true. I love how, at the end, Corey basically tells Shawn that he's done working with him on schemes. Now Riley and him are working, and Maya and Shawn. I kind of feel like we're going to get an episode where it's like the two teams versus each other, and it's going to be like the war episode. Hopefully it doesn't have the same outcome as that, though. That's one of my favorite episodes of the entire show of Boy Meets World. You guys know what I'm talking about, the episode where they pull pranks on each other. You know, it's Corey and Topanga versus Shawn and Angela versus Angela and Rachel versus I think it was Jack. I think it was Jack and Shawn. I'm not sure, something like that. But that was a great episode. I love that episode, and it's one of my favorite episodes of the show. So definitely, that's always been one of my favorite episodes. So I feel like they're gonna do that. I could definitely see them doing something like that. Another thing I like about this episode is that while Lucas and Farkle were in it, they didn't play a huge role in it. I kind of like that he gave that to them. Now, Farkle had some great moments in this episode. The thing with the watch where we find out he has this watch and he saves Riley's voice on it, and it's very weird, but it's typical for his character to do. That's just something that Farkle would do, and that whole scene with him in the watch and Riley saying I love you on it was hilarious to watch. I think that Corey Fogelmantis handled that perfectly. Thought that was very, very funny. No Augie in this episode, kind of disappointing, but you know what, fine. Because this episode, as I said, was really an episode focused on Maya, and at the end of the episode, Riley and Maya have a talk, and Maya tells Riley that she's actually happy for her being in her life and everything, and Riley's tied up because of what she did to Maya. I thought that was really funny. But where do I see this setting up? I definitely see Shawn having a much bigger role in the show. I definitely want to see Shawn do more. And really, that's what I want to do. I want to see Shawn more in the show. He wasn't in last week's. He was in this week's. I liked seeing him in this week's. I hope he continues to be in the show, because I feel that they could take this plot somewhere, definitely, with Katie and Shawn. I actually would be happy if Katie becomes a series regular in Season 2, definitely. I know we're almost to that point. We have, I believe, a few episodes left. I think there's only 22 episodes this season, so there's 4 episodes left if that's true. So, I know it's not coming back till the summer in Season 2, and won't come back till the summer. So, I hope that they give Katie more to do, because I really do love her character. And the actress that plays her is very good. A lot of people don't like that actress, and I don't know what it is. I think she's a very good actress, actually, and I think she's doing a very good job with that role. It actually is making the show a lot more mature. I like seeing one of the things I definitely like about this episode, that this episode didn't actually focus a lot. While it focused a lot on Maya, it also focused a lot on Corey, Shawn, Topanga, and how they're kind of tired of doing the same, you know, things, and how they've matured and how they've changed over the years. However, we've seen that Shawn really hasn't changed at all, which I like seeing, actually, because we've seen that Corey's changed a lot, Topanga's changed a lot. Shawn hasn't changed at all, though. He hasn't changed at all because he hasn't found love. He hasn't found a family. He hasn't found anyone yet. And it was very sad to watch, but I thought it was handled very, very well in this episode, and I definitely really enjoyed it. Definitely one of my favorite parts about the episode, by far. But overall, guys, I really enjoyed this episode. Definitely one of my favorites of the season. Really looking forward to the next episode. Don't know what it's going to be, but we'll have to see what ends up happening in the next episode. And, I guess my only complaint with the show is that I don't like that they keep going 25 minutes. I feel like they should make the episodes a little bit longer, because sometimes they are feeling a little bit rushed. Like, this episode did feel a little bit rushed at points, but I still really enjoyed it, and I think that they're handling the dramatic stuff very, very well, and I'm definitely really enjoying it. But that's basically for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for a movie review, I think. I think it'll probably be for a movie review or for my review of Shameless. It will be for one of those two things. Probably for a movie review. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Again, let me know if you guys saw the episode. I'll see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.